We are talking to Eric from the Trust for Public Land. He's going to talk about a new project they are doing called Park Score. So, Eric, can you tell us more about what Park Score project is all about?
The Park Score project is about understanding human access to parks and also equity. So, where parks are in a city, does it serve people of all kinds, and do they have access to the park for recreation purposes that's tied to their health? So, Park Score is a project that started off to evaluate cities across the U.S. to understand more about whether people have access to parks and where they don't have access, and is it equitable access across the population.
Using the new initiative where they want to monitor within 10 miles radius of each individual, right?
Sure.
So, why this new initiative? What was the need actually for?
The initiative is really Park Serve, which is a new initiative coming online. A private foundation is interested in understanding more about human health in the United States and trying to do something about improving human health condition in the United States. So Park Serve is to start to evaluate and map for the first time ever all the parks and open space in the urban United States, and then understand how it is that we get people access to those parks through time so that they can have recreation opportunities there. Also, a lot of mental health issues are tied to people being just able to access nature itself.
So the next question is, how are you actually taking up this project? Because parks being a very distributed kind of a scenario, every city has its own administration, every county has its own administration, every state has its own administration. How are you actually working across this challenge?
We have a long standing relationship with the largest 75 cities and really the largest 100 cities in the United States through time. So the Trust for Public Land has the Center for City Park Excellence, which has been collecting data on parks in the largest 100 cities for over 15 years now. So that data resource really started off the project. Now we're trying to take that project to scale of the nation and understand how it is that parks can really help all humans in the United States with access to nature and recreation and just a nice natural resource. Those resources we also understand are tied to initiatives like our Climate Smart Cities initiative. So urban greenhouse gas emissions and also stormwater issues, especially on the East Coast, where you have combined storm sewers. Can a park also help deal with those issues that are very costly to replace in terms of separating the infrastructure from stormwater and sanitary sewers into two separate systems from the combined system that they currently are? So how a park can actually not only help people with their health, but also help the city health itself and its abilities to respond to climate change issues that will be impacting lots of cities in the U.S. in very different ways than what they have in the past, and also still provide the recreation amenity that they have been forever.
What role does maps and GIS have in this project?
Obviously, at the back of all of this, we're tying the new park project, Park Serve, to the cadastre itself. So we're actually mapping at the parcel scale those parcels or those parks based on the parcels themselves. So then we're understanding a lot more about where there's a lack of parks. So we're using optimization models to understand where there isn't currently access to parks within a 10-minute walk, where it is that you would build the next park, and looking at those parcels that might be available and helping cities understand which parcels they might be looking at to purchase or buy to get the biggest bang for their buck. Understanding how those might also be tied to a green infrastructure implementation to help solve stormwater challenges that they have, how it can help a particular group of or segment of the population that doesn't have equitable access to a park. So it's really tied in lots of different ways. So we use GIS not only to map things, but also to analyze and evaluate and then run optimization models to help cities actually make the best choice they can that costs the public the least amount of money.
Can you show us some maps that are part of this project?
Sure, be happy to. So in the greater DC area, what you see in this map is a lot of green. So that means that we have parks that are mapped in the darkest green. Areas that are in red are these little slivers. Those are places where there's a need for a park where there isn't currently a park within a 10-minute walk. So this map shows, those particular locations. If we zoom in a little tighter, you can see that we've mapped the network here. and we understand through network analysis that this space is one that's devoid of a park within a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. So the question again here is, you're right that the area is devoid of the park, but how do you ensure that a suitable area for park within that area of requirement is met? How do you actually come across that challenge?
Okay, so we look at a whole lot of different data sets. So we have demographic data, we have health data that we're looking at land use data, and then details that the city provides us themselves about their needs and what they believe their community needs and wants. So we try to work always with one, finding where the need is, then we'll run an optimization model to further kind of fine tune that based upon what the city is telling us, and then most of the time we'll have our people on the ground work with the neighborhood or the community themselves to understand what their needs are, and then we try to put those things back together into the ultimate design and then acquisition plan. So the organization Trust for Public Land also helps cities with bond initiatives to actually pass a public tax increase to purchase land or to build parks. Also now more communities are also interested in understanding how those dollars could be used to help manage or maintain the parks that they already have or increase amenities. We have a process that's looking at fitness zones, so how you get fitness equipment into parks and places where people wouldn't be able to afford fitness equipment on their own, put it in a public park, and then everyone has access to it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for providing the information about this very important project for cities.
Very good. Thank you very much for your time today.